In a room full of glitter, yarn and glue, there's a wild little whirlwind tearing right through. She's got half-knit scarves and decoupled dreams, a hot glue gun and impossible schemes.
Fabrics flying, buttons ring from the sky. She says I'll finish it later, but we both know that's a lie. She's not here for your order, your schedule, your flow. She's a snarky little sprite that we all call Mo. I glow, leaving chaos wherever she goes. She's the queen of to be finished, but her magic's never diminished, 'cause Mo's gonna craft till the moon's hanging low. Yeah, sassy and snarky and slightly.
Okay, you guys, so as promised, we are cruising right along on this project, and a lot of it you've kind of seen in various, parts of the scrolling frame, but you haven't seen the full effect, and that's kind of the cool thing I like about scrolling frames. It kind of keeps you on task, and it is kind of like a big surprise reveal when you kind of unscroll things to look at your progress. So now I will be pulling out all of the white stitches at the bottom. I am not going to do the white border, mostly because I'm lazy, y'all. That would be the real reason. Now, I do want you to have attention. So this was about the numbers on the side. I think this was 320 centimeters long. And while the white background doesn't really take that much time, I find that I lose patience with big, blotches of the same color. So I have been eschewing the the white background on the latest of my kind of crafts, but there is nothing to say that you have to. But I will be ripping out these seams, but you can get a sort of idea, or these stitches, of what it would look like with a white background. Essentially, it is going to have a white background because the 45 blue ink is going to disappear when we get to the stage where I will show you how the ink releases. And I was kind of worried when I first started these. Sailor Moon, the body of the uniform, the bodice is white, and I was really worried that, whatever color they used with the washable ink was going to stain some of the lighter colors. I have not had any of that happen, but this will be the first kit from the new site. So yes, I was crafting in between journalisming, and yes, I have legs. You can see them right there, just in case you were wondering. But this is kind of what I've been working on in the background, and kind of, thank you, Youngest Must Feral is my co-host this summer. But you can see I am still getting the hang of videotaping and crafting, and finding a balance of, recording sessions and crafting for myself. So my next project, I do endeavor to film all pieces, but there is something about having maybe, a craft that I don't have to worry about bonking my head on. I have a setup that works right now, but it might not be the most ideal. So kind of giving you an idea of what we're looking on, and we're getting very close to one of my favorite parts of a I'm back. And I refuse to be ignored. Dan. No, I'm just kidding. Bear with us as we work on technical difficulties, as always. This channel is run on duct tape, holy water, and, well, a generous, sample of vodka. No, I'm just kidding. Crafting goodness. So let me move ahead, since we've already seen that bit, but it is really cool when now I have been a fan back. I really like the scrolling frame, and it is nice that the camera can now really pick up the symbols for you. Actually, one of my trips today is going to get more thread for colors that I've run out of. Again, there are people, not me people, but people out there who can just use the thread they were given. I don't know if that's because they plan stuff or they're just better at me than this, but I am not good at it. Now, I do recommend hanging on to those, threads that you have left over at the end of the project and build up kind of a stash, a backup. It has saved me on many a projects. I can go and look at the leftovers that I have and sometimes cannibalize from the leftovers of kits, finding that color and getting out of a Hobby Lobby run. So I like that. Now, as you get further along in your project, I find that it's easy for me to remember some of the bigger numbers, and I know I tell you every video to cut out your legend or have your legend available because the ink print on the side of the canvas that gives you the legend is going to be obscured a lot of the time that you're working on your project, depending on what kind of frame you use. So whatever way it is easiest for you, like at this point in the project, I pretty much know 45 means white and 44 means a golden yellow. So you do get very familiar with some of the major colors, but do be especially careful for symbols like 21. Now, they do try to, if there are similar symbols, to have them further away on the legend. But always pay attention to which part of the square is colored in. There are possibilities that you will have, two symbols that are indicated by a black line, but one is like this and one is like this. So paying attention and attention to detail is one of those things that, an ounce of paying attention, at the time while you're doing it saves you an hour and a half of using embroidery scissors to take out a bunch of, stitches. But it happens to the best of us. It is neat to see all of the picture appear. That's probably my favorite part of the project. And I will admit that once I get about 3/4 done with the project, I enter kind of this weird crafting frenzy space where I want to do nothing but F off and get my project done to the detriment of any other adult, responsibilities, which is not healthy. Like I legit know it's not healthy. But this is about the time that I will get into sort of longer sessions because I really want to get this project done, and I start fantasizing about what my next kit will be, what I want to do. It really does motivate me, but it's also really cool to see, a project that you started out with just one row completed and you had all of this, 300 centimeters of project ahead of you to get to where you're under the 100 centimeter mark, knowing you only have 10 more rows left. It really is kind of an understatedly proud moment for me because if you look at it individually, it looks daunting. And maybe that's, you start out with this giant project and you know that it's going to take a bajillion, gajillion, individual stitches. And somehow it becomes, the relaxing part of your day, not something tedious, because I can honestly and objectively understand someone thinking this is madness multiplied. This looks like the most tedious craft ever. And I get it, but there is something magical about watching these little, small, insignificant, stitches become something cool. And maybe I, too deeply esoterically philosophize while I'm cross-stitching. But I like how so many small little steps make something beautiful and big. And crafting's kind of my quiet time to let my brain go. And I always like to think about the lessons that I learned or am learning or being taught by, life. A lot of my lessons tend to be learn patience, which I'm practicing but may never learn ever. So it's incredible that as a self-admitted, impatient person, that I also enjoy the heck out of such a tedious and time-consuming, activity. Now, a little bit of housekeeping. I did move my diamond painting station so that I was having to hunch over a lot, and I wanted to be a little bit more comfortable. So I am hoping that this new station setup, I got this container system doohickey. So that is on my list of to get done today. Whether or not it will is all up to energy. I do want to get a lot of editing and stuff ready for the craft channel and some research on a couple of the stories I covered on my other channel. So we are going to be as productive as we can while, dealing with all the storm fronts moving through. But I love how little small steps, steps you wouldn't think anyone would notice, can make a masterpiece. And there's so many things in life that, are just small changes that you can make. And they really, if you put them together and you're consistent, they can make giant, giant changes. And I've always loved that about reality and life. And yes, you can see that I kissed my hand to try to get some of the lipstick off. Why use a tissue when you can use your hand? I am a 12-year-old, I swear. This goes back to the manic crafting phase. Once I get close to the end of the project, like any free time, I am wanting to spend crafting and doing that. So you kind of, when worlds collide, when my two channels collide, I was getting, made up and cross-stitching in a wig and, made up eyebrows. Life is a trip. Some days you're cross-stitching Sailor Moon. Some days you're dabbling in the internet drama llama ding dong. But I hope you guys are enjoying these. I have had a lot of fun, learning from you guys. And it is kind of nice to have the best of both worlds, because I feel like I'm a veteran at cross stitch, but I'm very new to diamond painting. So look, sometimes you just have to yank the cord. You just do. Some days you just have to. But I am not as knowledgeable on the diamond painting side of things. So to have kind of a project where I feel like a novice and one that I feel fairly confident in my skills in is kind of the best of both worlds. So my comfort zone and then not so much my comfort zone. So I will be working on getting the diamond painting back. I just, I need to get my setup set up. And I have been in a nap-taking phase. I used to never take naps unless I was pregnant, and no, I am not pregnant. 6 was enough. But lately here, napping has been part of my favorite part of the day. So I am hoping to get some energy back, because this napping thing is for the birds. I feel like I spend more time napping, and with not enough Antonio Banderas in dreams. I mean, if I'm going to nap, Anywho, I do hope that you are enjoying this crafting channel. I love having just something that I can come here and do what I was already going to be doing, crafting, and sharing it with you, learning some of the crafts you guys do, and hopefully just being an altogether positive, quirky, weird, dark humory, snarky part of your day. May our glue guns be ever warm and, well, not burn us. I will see you guys in a little bit. I will be working on these voiceovers, but I hope you guys are really, seeing what these kits can look like. I'm not the fastest, I'm not the bestest, but I hope I've given a fair representation of what stamped cross stitching looks like. Again, not everything is Sailor Moon. I mean, I wish it was, but there are many options out there. I am debating whether I want to try the beaded cross stitch next, but I feel like that that one might be one I want to try in winter, where I really feel the need to cozy in and tackle a new project. I hope you guys are enjoying these. May your inside craftian journey be blessed. I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye.